her claim that all men are P words.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's your proof?
This entire fucking conversation. You guys
Oh, great. So you have no proof?
You're the only one who brought up 15-year-olds.
No, and none of you would answer it.
We did.
All right, we all said no.
Hang on.
Yeah,
quickly.
you're lying.
It's loading, guys.
Would you?
What's your proof?
No.
Okay, you're lying.
Can you tell me, hang on, just real quick, just let me finish the exchange, please. What's your evidence for this?
I'm saying that if I presented you a scenario, that if you had the full ability with no one knowing.
It's a question.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact.
So the question's not an argument.
She knows for a fact.
But
I do.
The vast majority of men.
The vast majority, because it's different. Men and women are different. I'm so sorry to tell you, girl.
Right. And it'd be like if I just said to you, like, you don't know what it's like to be a man.
You don't.
Right.
Well, hang on, all of you guys. Just let me finish the exchange with her. It'll only take a second. What's the argument for the proofs that you can provide that all men are P words?
Because men are pedophiles.
You just that's a restatement. That's just a restatement of the position.
Andrew, this entire conversation, have you guys been focusing on fertility and women being innocent and malleable without a history?
Why is that?
Just
what does
call
that have to do
yourself,
at all?
say that you want to have a fresh meat
What does that have
pussy.
to do with anything?
Just say it. You like young girls. All of you like little girls. Andrew, yes you do.
No. Listen to you. You say that you all like young girls and little girls. So let me ask the question back to you. Why is it that in the public school system, so many women are having sex with underage boys?
Not like men are raping women and having and molesting girls.
It's an epidemic of
I don't know if I can say that.
biblical proportions. Why is that happening? Is that because all women are P words?
Repeat the question.
Why is there such an epidemic, an overwhelming epidemic of women inside of the school system having sex with underage boys, sometimes as young as 13, 12 years old, in order to get their rocks off? Why is it when they're in a position of power and authority over young men, they essay them constantly? What is that because all of them are P words?
That's a really great question, because I'm always also wondering that with men and young girls.
It's
constantly.
power of authority, exactly is what you're saying.
So my question is, again, is it because all women are P words, or isn't it?
It's because if you're in a power of authority, if you have a place of authority, you're going to do it. That's what you're saying. Women do it.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm asking you to answer my question. Don't reframe my argument. Just answer to the argument.
What's your question?
He's asking her a question, I'm pretty sure,
Say it
right?
again. I'm like,
what is the
Just
reason?
answer to the argument. Is the reason that so much essay happens in schools from female teachers to young boys because all women are P words?
no, but men are.
No.
Okay, I'm going to answer
Right, so what's your evidence then? I just gave you a huge swath
let
of
him finish,
evidence.
let him
Because
for women.
it is in
What's your
men.
evidence for
It is
men?
in men DNA to want to conquer and dominate. And what is easy to conquer and dominate? Young girls.
Okay, so what's
Erroneous.
Can I answer?
Not
what is
wrong.
your evidence for any of this?
Literally every crime committed with a man raping, molesting a girl. Literally the women that are sitting
There's
at the
that
table with
radical
an
feminism she was talking
Yeah,
about.
where's the actual evidence for what you're saying is true?
Of what? Men molesting.
She thinks
young
all
girls?
men are pedophiles.
No, that all men are P words because some men do horrible things. What's the
She
evidence
literally-
all men
what?
are P words? What is it?
She
Make a quick point,
She
please.
literally was the one to tell us that there are more women who are now teaching because of certain gender roles. I believe that was actually you. So that is why there's
please make your point
so
quick.
that is why there's a higher epidemic with women doing these things to young boys. That is why. But you're not even able to repeat that statement, so you are literally making no fucking sense. If you use your own fucking knowledge and your own reasoning, then you would make sense, and this would no longer be a fucking argument.
I don't know what you.
I still don't understand what the argument was.
Let me ask a
either.
couple clarifying questions.
Yeah.
So, is it genuinely your position that you think that all men are pedophiles?
I think the vast majority, yes. Innately, yes. Biologically, yes. I think that if they were granted the opportunity to get away with having sex with a 15-year-old girl with no repercussions, they would do it. Yes.
What's the evidence for that?
You have no evidence for this.
This entire conversation has been.
Yeah,
evidence.
so that's not an argument. That's an argument from incredulity. It's fallacious. What's the evidence that I can look at right now that proves your point?
What are you even talking? Look at.
I'm talking about evidence.
Well, hold on.
Do you have any or not?
Yeah. So let's talk about Jeffrey Epstein's island. Perfect example right there.
Some men do such bad
that's
things.
an
Therefore,
That is
all men do all
men.
bad things.
That is a bunch
is-
of elite men. You don't see women going over the fuck little boys. It's a bunch of men.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Can you ever sit
Example
down?
after
No,
example
you
of
don't.
how
Can you ever
that
sit
occurs.
down?
It's a bunch
please.
of men going to fucking Lolita's Island or going on Lolita Express, going to St. James, and it's men
Who
fucking young
recruited
girls.
for Epstein? Was it a woman who recruited for Epstein?
Yes.
They worked in tandem. Her father
Yeah,
was
so
the
why
her
would a woman-
father.
why
Her
would a woman be
father
helping him
her
do that?
father.
She
If
was
you
also
actually
a
knew
P-word,
about
right?
them, you would know that her father was a Fed, and he's the one who created the whole thing. Jeffrey got involved with it later.
Okay.
Okay, so on the Ghislaine
people
Maxwell, can you answer to why it was that Ghislaine Maxwell was recruiting for this P-word island if she wasn't a party to it as well?
They're both working in tandem.
Right, so this is not evidence.
But who's
that all men are
fucking?
P-words.
Who
This
is
absurd,
fucking?
And you're an idiot.
Who is fucking? Who's doing the raping? It's
Well,
not the
I would
women.
say that the women inside the public
It's not
school
the
system tend to do
women,
a
Andrew.
whole lot
It's
of
not
that.
the
Wouldn't you
women.
agree?
It's not the women. It's not the women
Well,
coming
and
to
why
St.
is there
James.
so many teachers
Women
getting
are
arrested
not.
for,
Answer
you
the
know,
question.
essaying
Why
little
is there
boys?
so many men flying to St. James Island? Why isn't it women going to fuck
Those
little
men
boys?
suck.
I mean,
But they're not all men.
All
They're
those
not
women
normal.
who were recruited by another woman.
Blah blah. God, you're not even answering the question. You're like
Yeah. I
harping
did.
on one very specific thing.
You brought up the specific thing.
Yeah, and you keep talking about Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah, but that's
Who
because
is fucking
that was
the kids?
recruitment agent for the P word.
Who is
meaning
having
she was
sex
also
with
a P word.
children?
She
It's
participated
not
in
women.
this.
It's
so
not
this is not
women.
evidence that all
Women
men
aren't
are
driving
P-words.
to
Yeah,
St.
yeah.
James.
It's ridiculous.
It's not happening.
So your position is you think the majority of men are P-words.
Yeah.
Said all, but yeah.
And I think-
Biologically,
and
innately, yes.
From what I could tell, you think me and Jeff are also P-words? Is that what that's basically what you said.
There are outliers, and I hope you are one of them.
But you just said if there's some
Andrew, do
crazy
you have
situation.
like a smoking gun on this? Because
This is very simple. I've already given the smoking gun. I see more SA coming out of the public school system between females who have a
Lie.
power differential between young boys. They molest them at massive, monstrous rates. It's incredible. Two, you've offered no counter evidence.
I have. I
that
literally just
men,
told you about St. James
that the
Island.
majority. Hang on, let me finish. You have not offered a single shred of evidence that the majority of men in society are P-words. Can you offer
Yeah.
that evidence without restating the position and saying, "'cause of this conversation"? Give me the evidence.
Yeah, I just told you St. James Island, Hollywood. Hello.
That's not evidence that
Yes,
most men are
it
P-words.
is. How is that? There is nothing of a better
my God,
evidence
bro.
than St. James Island.
Because
I
the thing
don't
happens
fucking
doesn't
get
make it an
Is
argument.
that evidence that most
How
men
is that
are
not
P-words
evidence?
because
Tell me how
some
that's
men
not
do bad
fucking
things?
evidence.
How's that mean most men do bad things?
Yeah. So you were trying to make the point, which incredibly bad faith, like trying to ask us a question to try to, because like super bad faith. You've been bad faith this entire show. I think you're intentionally trolling now. You like chilled out for a little bit, but now you're back to fucking troll. I don't even think it's trolling. I just actually think you're a misandrist and you hate men, frankly, because holding the position that most or all men are pedophiles is an incredibly sexist statement to make. It's incredibly misandrist. You're pathologizing. First off, you're attempting to pathologize men who have a preference for younger women, keyword women.
Fresh meat, malleable, young
That
pussy.
comment.
All right, get off the show. Get the fuck off the show. Leave.
This is Sparta!
Get off the show.
Thank God.
Out you go.
So much.
Out you go.
Thank God.
Oh my God. Unbelievable. Ridiculous. Bro.
Also, one of the comments said that because we like fertility cute, this argument was small. Yeah, I meant smaller than me. I don't want a gal that's 6'4" is what I was suggesting in Antenna Bay. I think it's kind of cute when a woman's not
ridiculous,
6'4", 220. And thank you for doing that. She was terrible.
Here.
Wow.
Too much.
Wait, Mia, do you want to just sit over there in her seat? You might want to wipe it. You may want to wipe it down with some
Yeah,
sort of
seriously.
antiseptic wipe.
Can you sage that chair?
Yeah, I'm like,
No, I really want to save myself.
yeah, switch the cushion.
Very unusual.
Jesus Christ.
I was just like boiling. I was like, girl.
Instantly, it's just the whole room is just like,
I'm just
Wow.
gonna say, like, I think it's really interesting that she was putting so many words into everybody else's mouths. I don't think it was fair or reasonable at all. The way that she was behaving and putting everybody else down and trying to paint a
crazy.
picture that wasn't even existent. Had you said anything about dating XYZ, or had any of us said anything at all, then that was a reason to attack us and to
Yeah.
go forward on that. But she did just completely attack just for no reason.
It would also be great if she was a little consistent. But just to be all over, like, you can't even say that she doubled down on like what she thought.
Ever.
It was just like all over the place. Like at one point saying leave the 19-year-old and she's only 19,
Right.
and then the next point be like she's 19, she's a fucker. You're like, what's going on
Very
here?
She
inconsistent.
was when I wasn't in the room, I couldn't hear everything that was happening. But like someone commented it too. They were like, she's infantilizing her, and
Yeah.
then in the same
is.
breath doing the opposite.
Right.
What had happened was, like, you walked out, she chased after you, trying to be a nice guy, whatever it may be, and I said it. She's 19. I didn't say it to put you down by any means.
Wait, what
I
are we
actually said
talking
it
about?
The situation that happened when she was
when
crying.
she cried,
Crazy.
and I only said it because I thought it was such a rhetorical thing to chase after you, try to treat you nicely, and say that we're using that to our advantages and putting you down because you're younger, which we were not doing. And even at that, it was just like, we're repeatedly saying she's 19, which was obviously her issue. She
Yeah.
had an issue that your age was 19, which is not fair. And it's just she
The
was
only
just so
one who ever
inconsistent
brought
with
it up.
everything.
It's, you know what's crazy to me though is when men are basically not allowed to have any preferences, standards,
Right.
and boundaries when it comes to what they want in a partner. If a girl wants an older guy, that's a preference. Guy wants younger, creepy, immature. Maybe even if you want a younger woman, even if you want to date a younger adult woman,
Right.
they want to call you a P word, a pedo.
Which is crazy.
Girl doesn't want a short guy, preference. Guy doesn't want a overweight girl, shallow, asshole. Girl wants a dominant guy, preference. Guy wants a submissive woman, misogyny. Girl sets a boundary, empowering. Guy sets a boundary, controlling.
Yeah.
It's just like, but it's the degree that she took it to was like pathologizing. She basically called us. I don't know if she was talking about you, but she pretty much sat there and called
She definitely did.
called me
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
a pedo.
She
Yeah.
said it, and then she said we're lying because we were like, no, we wouldn't do that. And she's like, you're lying. You both would.
But
You
even
all
though
would."
she also said that she wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like-
then she said you can hit women. She was all over the
I
map.
know.
that was
She's all over the
girl.
map. She was a psycho.
But what's weird was she started off with that energy, and I checked her, and then she kind of
Yeah.
got in check, and then like I don't know if the meds were wearing off or whatever,
Probably.
but
Well,
it started amping up again at the end there. So like, what the fuck?
I think what was interesting was just like seeing how she immediately was like, fuck Andrew, I love you, Andrew. And
Yeah.
then immediately, like, for
She's
a long time
bipolar.
it stayed there.
Andrew's not in the room.
He's not
It's
in the
very
room.
easy for her to
and
do
then
that.
from there
That's
it
what she
went
did.
to Andrew, you'd fuck XYZ. And that's
Yeah.
just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, stay consistent or just don't speak at all.
She's like, if I get the guy that's not in the room on my side,
I think you actually kind of agreed with her though.
On some things, a little bit. I think that she was phrasing things in a way to purposely sound fucking insane. But I think the root of some of her, very few, but some of her opinions were rooted in something that I believe in too. But the things that she said, the generalizations she made, all of that I think was wrong. And I mean, I said what I said, and I want you to listen to what I said, and that's my opinion. I don't want you to hear her and hear me build onto something she said and think that's me.
yeah. I will also, like, so just speaking back to the subject that she left on, just like another thing, like as a guy, I like to date age appropriate women, like women generally my age, is kind of my wheelhouse. However, that's tough because there are not a lot of available women my age. And if they are, they've got children, and that makes the little things more complicated because it'd be unrealistic for me to think I could get a 40-year-old woman that doesn't have past relationships and have, so like you would tend to date a little younger because the younger chicks don't have something started yet. They don't have a family.
Right.
They don't have a, so it's like the young girls are available.
Like you want to start a family with someone and have it your own family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Or like I've met girls that I really, this is not good, it sounded good, but they're like, they're, I was like, I would date this woman and she's married.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I can't. But that's a great gal. I want a woman
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But I just can't because she's got a guy.
Free Peter in the chat. boys.
Free
Hashtag
Peter.
free.
Run.
I don't believe
Run.
anything she said, dude.
I don't.
I'm all over the place.
I bet she doesn't have a boyfriend. I bet she'd be pretty annoyed if someone slapped her in a relationship.
Oh, we got Dave
Devon
on.
Jackson donated $200. I take back what I said. Autistic sociopath. Pedo means attraction to prepubescent children. The law allots for years post-puberty just to play it safe, i.e. nobody looks at the 19 years old plus sees a child.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, like,
Thanks,
the law
Devin.
was put there for a reason.
And
Like,
different
it's
countries
not
have different
just-
laws.
Of course.
It's fine.
Bro, that's crazy, dude.
Did she ever define the word?
No.
There's another issue. You
Well,
guys
she
could have
didn't
been
really want
talking
to
about
answer
completely
any
different things.
questions.
Andrew,
She
is
just
it
kind of avoided questions.
Andrew? What do you know? What like is there a specific fallacy when it's like you're asking somebody a question, and then regardless of their answer, you just assume they're either lying about their answer to the question, or you just pre-assume what their answer to the question is. Is that like a? Does that have a name? Because she did that multiple times. She's like,
Narcissism.
She's like, no, you met, like when we said, no, we've been assaulted. Like we are cautious
Yeah.
when we're going
It's
out
just,
at
it's
night.
it's just a basic straw man fallacy. So what she
Okay.
did was she would say, here's what your argument actually is, and then argue against that.
Right,
so
right.
what I was trying to do is get as much clarification as I could, nail down the actual argument. And when I make arguments, they're actual arguments. What she made was kind of these fallacious claims, and then she actually never made any counter arguments. If you listen closely, she would just restate the position as the position itself being bad, right? That's all she did. So there was no argument to even be fallacious for the most part, because she never made any.
Right. Got it. Here, let me do a couple chats, and if we want, we can continue on with this. Dr. Clockwork, you're talking about sex work 5-ish years ago, like it was a long time ago. That's nothing. You said you had 2 experiences as a S worker and are talking like you're a hard seasoned pro. You know nothing. So I think, is this directed at the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she was doing.
I'm sorry, dude. I had to kick her off.
She goes,
It
this was back in 2019. Back in. Like,
Well, also the fact that she was saying in 2019 that sex work was more like
Accepted.
normal
Accepted.
was so false.
It was completely opposite.
It was a
And
different
al-
time,
Yeah.
ladies.
In addition to that, OnlyFans actually started in 2016, so she was like, it didn't exist, all those stuff.
yeah.
Like, you didn't have to be a prostitute.
Yeah.
Right.
Not that
Yo,
that's wrong.
But and also the
Didn't
fact
have
that
to
she
do
was
that.
saying that she was on all these drugs and saying that like she was on those and then started sex work. Like you basically were a drug addict and needed money for the drugs, so
Right.
you
Pretty
provided
easy to
your
tell,
mom.
yeah.
I was gonna say as well, like she was pointing out like my family dynamics are most commonly for sex workers, and it was like, well, you willingly chose your dynamic to involve yourself into sex work. I didn't.
Yeah.
If that was my case, I did not. So
You know what's crazy? This might sound mean, but she's a very attractive girl. You know, so it's like, oh well, so like
she?
I would say that she's pretty. You know, like to the everyday person, like she's a pretty person or a pretty looking girl. But here's the thing: is like she sounded like a crazy homeless guy, but we listened to it because she was a pretty attractive.
No.
white
First off,
chick.
That was
I
for
don't think
content.
she's. I frankly, and granted, perhaps her personality is
Affected
what
it, yes.
affects it a lot. But like, just her outward appearance, there's like, I don't know. There's some physiognomy going on there. Like, just
I meant
she
she's not
has
gross.
like this.
I didn't
I
like
mean,
her.
she's not the ugliest person I've ever
That's what I meant.
No, I'm not saying she's ugly, but like,
Why is God making hot, crazy people? It's so unfair. I'm like, listen, like I would listen to her at a store and be like, I don't know, if she thinks she's pretty pissed off about something. But if she was just like wearing like a crazy hat and had like a beard, I'd be like, get this person out of our
Damn,
business.
simp-like behavior going again, bro.
dude, yeah, truthfully, dude, I don't think
You don't think so?
even if
I
she
hate
was.
that she was attractive.
I
No,
don't think
bro,
she's
she was
attractive.
not. She's not ugly, but
Not
she's
attractive
not.
enough to be
I don't
crazy.
think. I don't think she's an attractive girl.
Okay.
I
I think
don't
she's
think
socially
she's-
repulsive and stupid and
Have you heard of that scale where it's like
Simping,
when access is
bro,
crazy
you're
and when access
simping
is
again.
hot,
Gotta stop
and then
simping
there's like a
so much.
line and you can't be under that line.
yeah,
She's under the line.
yeah. All right, fair enough. I'm saying there's a guy like Peter that's listening to that shit just because she's a
I'm gonna get some of these chats here.
young
Free Peter
chick.
till it's backwards.
All right, Antenna Boy, and Antenna Boy here sides with the girl.
Yep.
The funniest part is that she is right. If all you looking for is fertility, cuteness, argumentative, small, your guess said that one, moldable, malleable, etc. Just sounds like you want a 12-year-old. That's a totally. Is that a straw
insane.
man? It's totally fallacious because you could like if you want a woman who's a virgin, there are plenty of women who are
Adults.
women, adult, who are 18, 19, 20, 21. There's women into their mid, late 20s, even early
especially
30s
people
that
that
are
are
virgins.
religious.
So just because you want a woman who's a virgin does not mean like, so you could desire all these traits in a woman. That's not evidence of you having these P word tendencies. Andrew, do you have anything on the super chat?
Yeah, well, it's a non sequitur anyway. So the non sequitur, which is here, this is an argument which means nothing, is he states at the end that his conclusion is the question, right? If you value these things, then it must mean X. No, that's of course not true. You still value high fertility, and it has nothing to do with prepubescent kids, has nothing to do with any of that. It just has to do with the fact that, of course, men are going to value fertility in women. None of these things lead to the conclusion that he's saying, but he still states it as though the conclusion must be true based on made-up premises. It's ridiculous.
Well put, Andrew. I'm glad I had you here for this episode because, oh my God, it's been a doozy.
Yeah, I'd have got away with tons of stuff if Andrew wasn't here.
Okay. We have infinite singularity. One God's essence entails infinite attributes. Humans, finite beings, cannot embody infinity. 2, asserting I am God implies a finite being is infinite. 3, this self-contradictory claim violates the principle of non-contradiction. All right, that's above my pay grade.
So if you don't mind, I'll respond to that
Sure.
real quick. He's absolutely right. So especially when he says it violates the law of non-contradiction, it'd be a contradiction for her to say, I am God, while at the same time, of course, she's not God. This is demonstratable that she's not God, because if she was God, then she would have to have created everything, et cetera, et cetera. So it's already a violation of one of the logical laws, which is how you don't even need to say it's fallacious. You can just reject the entire thing on its face. But also he makes these other points, which is that you're trying to say that a finite being can be an infinite being, which she clearly is a finite being, so can't be infinite, therefore can't be God. It's just contradiction after contradiction.
There are religions that think that you can be as a finite being infinite.
Let's not.
Which one?
Let's
Which one?
not.
Like Buddhism?
Well, no, that's not really what Buddhism says.
It's not.
So Buddhism is trying to move towards what we would call in Orthodoxy something called theosis, which is you could be more like whatever this type of being is. But no, it's not really stating what you're saying it's stating.
Well, I mean, there's a certain level of connectedness to the world that you have when you're like that, which kind of implies infinity, but not in the way I think that comment was saying.
Yeah, so it would say you're a part of the infinite, not the infinite itself. Yeah. That's what we would agree with as God is the infinite, right? You're not part of the infinite, you would be the infinite.
Yes.
We have Deaxiom here. Jess, she was
supposed to be Jeff.
She was the least attractive person on the panel.
For sure.
She was not hot. But I certainly agree with that. She was the least, even the pink girl, fucking...
I don't know
I was
about
just saying
digging
that. I
it.
was like, nobody made any commentaries. At least some of the girls said we were being a lot kinder.
Yeah.
This other bitch was fucking psycho and ugly.
Yeah. But
Let's fucking
it was
go.
her personality that
Let's
sucked.
go.
It was.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
ugly. Like,
Yeah.
who's never gonna wipe
I
that
see
up?
a lot of uglier girls than her. I'm not trying to simp, but like I meant like, gosh damn it, why is God
Moderately
making
attractive
crazy?
person, yeah.
The crazy person should look crazy. She should have came in here with a shit in her jeans, and we'd have been like, "Don't talk to this one. She's insane." That was a crazy person we just argued with for hours.
I do actually think
narcissist.
That's what I
she
was
might
trying
be
to
crazy.
say. I know she's
Yeah, I
an
think
actual
she is.
crazy person. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
But she's somewhat. She's shit.
They
what's
let
the
her
term?
operate a car. They like she knows how to like put on clothes.
I think she
That's
was-
the only point I was trying to make by saying she's not ugly. Is that like the fact that we have to deal? I wish murderers look like murderers, and I wish crazy people look like crazy people.
Yeah.
I wish bad people look like it's like I had to deal with this fucking psycho, and I was giving her good faith for the first
lot of
hour,
the
and then
things
after
she
a while I
said
was
was
like, fuck
crazy.
this
The
chick.
conversation I had with her prior was outside, and you heard a little bit of it.
Yeah, she seemed pleasant.
But she was decently pleasant. She was just adding a lot of weird feeling on my side. I just emotionally just felt like, okay, this is a little different.
She was degrading you.
She was degrading the hell out of me.
attacking
but-
Outside?
Oh no, not
Oh, yeah.
outside. She
Oh,
was
during the
intentionally
show.
trying to get information from me, so I was just
Yeah.
filtering.
Yeah, I
through
heard
random
you guys' whole
information.
conversation. I was
But
down
what
there.
she was saying was like, I've always wanted to be in Los Angeles. I've always wanted
Yeah.
to be here. I have 8 days
Yeah, the
here.
failed
I have more
actress gig,
things.
But
by
she
the
even
way.
said that downstairs. She goes, "I'm a failed actress," to get like the laugh,
Like-
like a little self-deprecating.
Yeah, so I think
she
what
had a
she was
strategy.
intentionally doing was just like she really wants the attention. She obviously has a social account. God only knows how much in terms of following or anything of that sort. But it just seems so like
she
was deprived of everything.
Yeah.
She needed it now.
Yeah. That was a lot.
Bro.
It was
like
exhausting.
on one hand, I wish like there was early on in the show, I was about to kick her.
I wish you
I
would.
kind of wish I did.
Kind of
I'm just
gave
scared that she's
her
gonna like do something.
a chance.
I'm,
Like at
I'm
one
glad
point,
you didn't. I'm glad you didn't kick her because
No, but-
that kind of madness on display is
Yes.
beautiful.
No, I agree. Like she, like what's the? Hold on. It's
You see how far the termites have spread and how long and well they've dined.
I mean, it was obviously infuriating, and I know she was very insulting to some of the other girls here. It was very frustrating to have her on the show, but like the best disinfectant is sunlight, and like for her to like, she was trying to. There was a period there in the middle, Andrew, where I think I don't know if she's bipolar or something, but she kind of like started shifting a bit and was like trying to be more agreeable, and then but immediately like just went completely unhinged and.
Well, she was trying to take every end of the position that she possibly could, whatever she thought would put her in the most favorable light with whoever was on the winning side of the position. That was the game. When we were able to move her out of that, where she had to be on the losing side of the position, she freaked out. And
That's where she started yelling.
Well, she loved the attention. So, like, even when everyone's dunking on her, going, "Can you imagine being her boyfriend, Peter?" Like, she was maniacally laughing.
Yeah.
Like,
and
look at
smiling
how
all
people are
crazy.
talking about me. Like, it was a strange reaction to that. Like, it felt very manic.
Hunger.
Yeah.
you did at
Definitely
the end
manic.
there. I said something, and then one of them was like, "Oh, I'm not asking her a question," which is cool. And then she tried to say something, and you were like, "Let them do this." So it seemed like you almost wanted it to be like this, like her show for a second.
No,
It was when I was answering something and you're just like, let her do it. And I know.
Oh,
what
no,
you're
no,
saying,
no,
but
it's-
it was just because she was already showing her psychosis.
Well, he was going to ask.
No.
Andrew was going to ask a series of questions.
No, honestly, the truth is, as soon as she said, as soon as she basically made the statement that me and Jeff, and that all men or most men must be P words, I was prepared to kick her. But I was going to kick her right then and there. But I know Andrew wanted to
Interact.
have a back and forth, so I was like. It wasn't so much I didn't want to hear from you. I was like, I want to get this girl off the fucking show. I'll let Andrew have his back and forth, but like, okay.
How often do you kick people off?
Was it? Did I? I didn't really kick Pink off.
No, she kicked herself.
She kind of wanted to
really
leave.
wanted to leave,
She
yeah.
wanted to leave anyways, but it doesn't happen too often. I think I'm fairly patient with people.
Way too.
I thought you were so patient. I'm really surprised.
You didn't even tell her to shut up or anything.
Wait,
Once.
what?
You didn't even tell her to shut up.
I raised my voice with her a
well, you
little
have
bit,
to be able to
Yeah.
talk over her.
but
All right.